Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Preacher Pig, and I didn't really like this episode, and it's mainly going back to, I know that they need to dig back into some characters and explore them, but it just didn't really pull me in when they were showing the stuff with like Hair Star and all that and all of his background, and I was actually more interested in the smaller moments that were going on with the characters that we're used to. Because I think it gets to a problem of escalation with this show. And it's the same kind of problem I had with Attack on Titan. I.e., you already start at a batshit crazy level, and it's very hard to keep it at that level. We ended last season with all hell breaking loose and a town being annihilated. Then nothing else really kind of like goes to that because we've already got these crazy people, and showing how Hair Star is crazy is just like, what? We already know there's fucked up people here, and he's no different than any of them, really. So, this starts out, and we see this like couple in Vietnam kind of like arguing with each other, and the husband not really liking the food that his wife had made and all that. And then she looks outside and screams, and he looks out and is like, what the hell's going on? And then we see the Hair Star dude kind of like tasking out and seeing what's going on. This kid runs up like to show him. They go, seeing this crowd. It's like, it's a miracle. We gotta pray to God and all that. And they find that the pig's levitating. And like the wife pushes down the pig, and it kind of gets close to the ground, and then it comes back up. And he's like, well, crap. All right. So then the episode kind of like tosses up between what's going on with Jesse, Tulip, and Cassidy, and background for Hair Star, and then kind of Tulip dealing with the after effects of her dealings with Saint Killers. So their main thing is they come out of, we see kind of funny bit first, in that we're seeing at night these like guys on these carts are driving by, and we see this woman lying in the street, and he comes up with like a cattle prod taser her, he's like, alright, my cart then, and we see kind of a really cool Monty Python kind of moment, in that they have a cart for the drunk people, which there were a couple more, and they put the other chick on, which she promptly then pukes over the side, and a dead one, just like thinking, bring out your dead. I'm like, that's funny, that works. And then it just kind of keeps going. We see our gang come out of the Last Jazz Club, and Jesse's like, alright, what do we want to do now? And their idea is to go to the place that Cassie was talking about getting shot. And we see the Hurt Locker. We kind of see how it works. This dude's standing there. He gets shot by the one guy, and they count down to see how fast he gets up, pay out. There's evidently odds on the guns, so they pull a con on him. Tulip and Cassidy are playing boyfriend-girlfriend. Cass to have on the bulletproof vest. Jesse to kind of like work everybody up. And Tulip's like, alright, give me your biggest gun. And they pull out this like either .357 or bigger revolver, and they shoot Cassidy, and it goes through the vest. You see the blood splatter on the dartboard, and it's like, oh my god, this man is dead. Call the police. You're all witnesses and all that stuff. Everybody bolts. They get the money, and they drink at the bar. And it was kind of funny seeing that. We see that Tulip doesn't want to sleep, and just like, come on, let's just go home. So they kind of go off. We see Cassidy drinking with Dennis, and incidentally enough, there is a French professor there that is able to translate between them, and we learn that Dennis is dying. He's got like congestive heart failure, and he's like, well, you can help me live forever. There's something. And Cassidy's like, no, absolutely not. He refuses to do that. And he's like, alright then, that means that I will die hating you. And Dennis, of course, leaves, and Cass is like, crap. So, of course, he goes out, falls onto the ground, just pretty much out, and the group's like, oh, it's on my cart now, because he's got no vital signs and he doesn't react when he's tased. So they put him on the dead cart, and he's, of course, put in the morgue. He's like, bollocks, trying to get out, and of course, they do get him out. Even the nurse kind of talking about how since they put each cart in tandem, this has been happening a lot more frequently than it should. with Cass, of course, looking and seeing a couple, like, grieving over a dead loved one and kind of thinking more about the whole Dennis thing as he's leaving. Of course, then we also see that Tulip has like a lot of nightmare sequences. She wakes up one and we see her going through. It's like really unnecessary in my opinion how it was played out. Like, oh, she wakes up, oh, and seeing her being like held by the Saint of Killers. I don't understand why she has so much issue with this. There's a real disconnect of what happened to how it affected her. It's not really that cohesively put together, especially since she has dealt with underworld stuff like this before and all that, unless just it's the power of the Saint of Killers to possibly infect his victims with fear and all that. I don't know. I wouldn't think that what the Saint of Killers did to her and almost killing her would have affected her this much. And I think it's more of a detriment to the overall plot and the character more than actually like dealing depthly like, oh yeah, of course she says all this stuff about crime and all that and being in the criminal enterprise, but when it comes to a supernatural killer, that's her thing. It's just the way it's done is not very effective in conveying what's going on. So of course, for her to get over it, she goes back and goes to the Hurt Locker and gets people to shoot her to kind of like get over her fear, I guess. And then we also see Jesse talking to this guy on the street corner preaching that the end is nigh, and they're just like talking about all the stuff going on, and he's like, yeah, but seeing all the stuff going on with people, pigs levitating and all that kind of crap, people are freaked out. They're scared, and they want something to be scared of, because otherwise they'd be scared of themselves and what they do. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. We need more kind of stuff like that that's delved into. And then, of course, Jesse brings up the stuff about, like, selling your soul and all that. He's like, you know what one of the signs of the apocalypse is? Men selling their souls. It's like, damn, yeah. So, another part of the episode that was pretty big was us getting information on Hairstar. And he was this guy from Germany, crack commander of like an anti-terrorism unit, and he goes to join this organization because they want the best, the smartest, the strongest. He's just a quirky kind of dude, asking for his parking to be validated and all that kind of stuff. We see him going through all the trials and all that, and beating a person with unconventional methods, beating him with a golf club, being okay with being electrocuted in a chair while one dude pretty much dies, gets down to the final two, and they're doing a shooting competition, and of course you know that he's going to shoot his rival, and he does, and he's the one, and the head guy talks about how they're called the Grail, they've been in operation for over 2,000 years and all that, and hammering home that they are trying to be like the best and most pious and all that kind of stuff, that their job is to protect the lineage of Jesus, because he not only sacrificed himself for us, he also had children, and they've got him surrounded by machine guns to protect him and everything, and when the world gets to shit point, they will have the Savior ready to save everyone. And Hairstar's like, okay, I get that and all that, and they get into what he's going to be doing while they're talking on a balcony, and he's like, alright, you're going to be in the Samson unit, pretty much dealing with contenders to Christ's throne, false prophets, all that kind of stuff, like we did with Charlemagne, Lincoln, and Belushi. I'm like, okay, but just throwing out random crazy crap like that's just like, alright. So of course, Hairstar's like, okay, looking forward to this. And then he knocks the dude off and pretty much takes the reins of the operation, I assume. And then we see him dealing with the whole thing in Vietnam, is that he has like poisoned the water and killed the pig and all of the inhabitants of the village. Gets a call to find out where his next target is, of course, Jesse Custer in New Orleans. And we see Jesse watching on TV and getting the bullcrap information of what happened with the pig and all that. And that's kind of where it ends. And this is kind of like the the past couple episodes where I feel like there was 20 minutes worth of information stretched out to an hour. maybe not even 20 minutes. You could have more effectively told us more about Hairstar by him actually doing stuff rather than having to go back into a flashback sequence. More effectively kind of shown Tulip's fear and all that of the Sanctum Killers and kind of gave us more of a insight into why she fears the Sanctum Killers. And it's really sad because I really like the characters in the show, but it's getting to a point it's like, I'm getting kind of bored. And with this show, I didn't think I'd get to a point where I'd be like, it's kind of boring. And it's sad because I like Cassidy, and I like the stuff that they're doing with him. I like Jesse and kernels of what they're doing with him, but it's like uneven in its execution. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.